I made some updates. Look how cool this is. Look how cool this is. This is so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. Look, that's magnets. Magnets. What are these numbers? I don't know. I didn't put that scale up there. I'll have to go back and look. It just popped up. Look at this. This is a coil. Whoa, look at that. It's as if it goes all the way around in a circle. But it's a coil. So it's like one of the leads goes off that way, and then maybe one goes off this way, but the current goes wee, or the current goes wee. But look at this thing on the outside. Look at this outside, this big ring on the outside. There's a magnet. There's a magnet. So it's a permanent magnet. And in the middle, there's this electromagnet. But then you see how this stuff is up here? See how there's like kind of this line here? You can't see it, but there's a piece of iron that goes down through here, if you will. You set the math up right, you say, hey, this is what's in this cell here. And so then when the fields hit the cell, if you will, it changes the value of the cell for the direction and the magnitude of the magnetic flux and all that jazz. And then it does that until it stabilizes, and you get this out of it. Now right here it says there's some current running through the coil, but if I do this, I can change how much. So we'll send some more current through. Whoa, look how that changes. Look at these lines. So I'm increasing the flux by running more current through that coil. And if you look over here, it kind of spins around this coil. This side's going down, next side's going down, this side's going up. So like right in the middle there's that coil with the current going through it, and that magnetic field is going around it. And since it's going around the different direction on the other side, magnetic field goes the other way on the other side. And so it kind of pulls everything down through the middle and out the sides, right? And look what happens. When there's no current in the coil, right, it looks like this. The permanent magnet says, hey, I'm going to send flux down and to the left or to the right. It's a little bit of flux here, but there's a lot over here through this little choke point, and it curves up and goes back around and goes to itself, right? And some of it escapes out into the air over here on this side. It loops through the air, but a lot of it goes through this region here. But when I run current the other way, watch what happens to these lines when I take it from the neutral state, which is about here. See, it's like the permanent middle of the permanent magnet is right there, so you can go straight down from there. When you hit a wall, you got to split left or right. This is the center. Well, if I run current through there, that shifts over, right? It shifts over. So now the center of the magnet, if you will, is here. Not really. It just means everything from this point on goes this way, except for this. So if I pull this over here, it's actually sending less flux. Watch this area. Less flux out into air than before. But that's the flux of the permanent magnet. So I'm redirecting the flux of the permanent magnet to go this way more as I run current through there. Because I'm biasing which way the material wants the magnetic field to flow, if you will. I can do it the other way, so I can run current through the coil the other way. Now, look at that, the center starts to shift this way, so everything starts going that way and starts going out into air more. Whew. If you look at that on a macroscopic effect, you can see the green on the outside. This is air, and that field is jumping across rather than going through the middle. So if I change this back to neutral-ish, there's stuff going through the air, but I can amplify how much of that, just a little bit. This is a bad design, just to be clear. I'm just showing off a checkpoint. It's nothing crazy awesome going on yet. But that I can do it the other way, bring the current through the other way. We're at kind of at zero current now. And now like, oop, that field cuts off out here. So I kind of control how much of the permanent magnet's field expresses over here by sending a smaller strength of magnetic field around this area. So I'm biasing how the permanent magnet expresses itself by running the coil in the middle. So this is a really bad design, but it's kind of like a magnetic amplifier, if you will, or a magnetic transistor or a flux valve or something like that. So anyway, I just thought I thought it looked cool. Thought I'd show you guys, but I'm trying, I'll have a better design hopefully tomorrow, because I learned from this, and I'm going to take what I learned, aka how to get this to jump out here into air, and I'm going to redesign this whole thing with a different geometry to make that jump a more desirable gap located up here rather than along the sides. So that's what I'm doing right now, because I figured I'm gonna make a toy out of this. That's a whole another story. Thanks.